Being chosen by God. What does it mean to be chosen by God? You see, nowadays a lot of people, they talk about, oh, chosen ones. I'm chosen this, I'm chosen that. So being chosen by God. So you gotta understand that being chosen by God, we talk about the real Bible definition. I'm not talking about this new age movement that's happening on the internet where everybody talk about they chosen ones and all that. No. I'm talking about about the biblical definition of being chosen by God. So being chosen by God just basically means that you were picked from the foundation of the planet. The Bible makes it clear that many are called, few are chosen. Not everybody's chosen by God. Being chosen by God means you got a deep purpose in your life. It means that God has called you to do great things in this planet. It means that you have a Savior who you could put your faith and trust in. That means that you are a person who God is going to use as a voice for many nations, for many people. You are a person that God's going to use mightily upon the earth. You are a person to where God is going to use you to help bring many people, help change many people's lives, help bring more people to Christ, help bring changes that people need. You are the voice of the voiceless, basically. So, there's a few signs that you being chosen by God. Number one, you never refit in. You see, a person really chosen by God, they never refit in. Because when you really chosen by God, that light is on you from birth. God chose you before a foundation of the planet. You could be out in the world in sin and not even know you chosen by God. You could be out in the world and not even know you chosen by God. For example, Moses was about to become king of Egypt, but he didn't know. He didn't know he was chosen by God till God came to him by a burning bush. The 12 disciples, Peter was a fisherman. He didn't know he was chosen by God to be one of the 12 disciples at a time. They didn't know none of that. Paul was even persecuting Christians. He didn't know that later down the line he'd be chosen by God to write most of the New Testament books. He didn't know that at the time. You see, when you're chosen by God, that light is upon you from birth. That's why many people, they sometimes want to grow, and they sometimes grow up wondering, how come wherever I go, I don't fit in? How come I go on this way, I don't fit in? How come I move to this city, this state, this country, I don't fit in? Well, it's probably because you're chosen by God. God got a deep purpose on you. That light is upon you. The enemy himself knows that you're chosen by God. Satan will know you're chosen by God before you even know you're chosen by God. And a lot of people don't even know that. The Satan will see that light upon you. He'll know you're chosen by God before you even know it. And that's how some people are attacked by the enemy day out in the world. Because Satan knows that once that person comes into the kingdom of heaven, that it is over with. That person is going to bring serious change to people's lives. No doubt. That's why people are chosen by God. Even when they're out in the world, they feel out of place. You know how many people who are chosen by God, who came into the kingdom of heaven, who said that when they were out in the world, they didn't feel right. When they were out in the world, they used to get hated on. When they were out in the world, people used to hate on them. People used to talk about them. Where do you think that come from? It's because you got that light upon you. Also, you chosen by God, you also will think different. Many people, when you chosen by God, you have a different mindset, even from an early age. Like me, from an early age, I never cared about a lot of stuff that people care about. I never cared about partying, never cared about drinking, smoking. I never cared about having various women and various girlfriends. I never cared about having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 girlfriends. I never cared about none of that. I know that was any concern to me. Even when I was 15 years old, even right before I came into the kingdom of heaven, that's how I knew God was getting ready to call me in, because I remember the summer of 2016. I remember I was like, I'm done impressing people. I'm done living my life for people. I'm done trying to impress people, trying to impress girls. I'm done with all this stuff. I'm living my life for me. Whoever don't like it, that's on them. And guess what? Later on, I got deep in God. I told my mama I wanted to get baptized. That's why I later finding out that I was chosen by God. Because even from an early age, I had a different mindset. Even from an early age, I care about knowledge. I care about truth. I was always looking, because I was like, there's more to this world than what meets the eye. There's more to this planet. It's not just what they tell us at school. It's not just what the government tells us and all what teachers tell us. There's more to it. There's more to it. Being chosen by God means you'll face persecution. You'll be hated on just for not even no reason. You know why? Because you got that light upon you. You'll be that type of person too. You be chilling in a corner in the cup by yourself. You ain't bothering nobody. You ain't messing with nobody. You was chilling. You keep it to yourself, and people will come looking for trouble with you. I remember before I even got deep in the kingdom of heaven, I used to sometimes people just start random stuff with me. I remember there was one time I was sitting in the bus. Some guy was just mean mugging me, just staring me down the whole time. That person had demons on them. That person had evil spirits, and the evil spirits inside them probably knew I was chosen by God at the time. And that's why it caused that man to do that type of stuff. I remember one time I was in a bus, Well, I was on a bus while I was in high school. Some guy just looked at me. He was like, "Come on!" Like he had an angry look on his face, like he wanted to fight me. I remember when I first came in the kingdom of heaven. When I first came in the kingdom of heaven, I remember in 2016, right? I remember after I told my mom I wanted to get baptized and all that. One time, me and one of my friends was walking down the street to go to school, right? And there was this guy. He walked past. And the guy looked at me. He said, "Darkness shall prevail." And I kid you not, that man's voice was not human. I've told a few people this. Because you can't go around telling certain people this type of stuff. Because they'll think you're losing your mind and there's something wrong with you. Or that you're seeing things. But I kid you not, this man's voice was not human. That man was demonically possessed. Now you could tell that man was an agent of darkness. The man told me darkness shall prevail. Because the demons, the evilness that was inside him, the evil spirits knew that I was chosen by God. They probably saw that light upon me. They saw the light of Christ upon my life. Especially since I was coming into the kingdom of heaven. When you're chosen, when you find out you're chosen by God, like Jesus Christ got deep purpose in your life. You can't just be playing around with your purpose. Because the enemy, he always going to be after you. The enemy, he attack all of us because he hate human beings. But the enemy, he goes at God's people, God's chosen people more because he know you got deep purpose on you. He knows that once you get your God's given purpose, it's a wrap. That once you get your God given purpose, it's gonna come. Like you gonna be like you're gonna change a lot of people. Like once you get your purpose, a lot of people's lives are gonna be changed. You're gonna be a voice that resonates with people. You're gonna be a voice that brings many people to the kingdom of heaven. That changes many people's lives. And Satan don't like that. Satan don't want God's chosen people bringing people to Christ. Satan loves when people are sheep when they just follow the ways of this world. He don't want people to change and coming into Christ. He just don't. He don't want people doing all that. That's why when you're chosen by God, sometimes the enemy, he'll come after you when you're born. The special case was Jesus Christ and Moses. Satan sent those men. He sent Pharaoh. He sent Herod to come after them when they were born. Herod, there was people after him. It was so bad that Jesus and his family, Mary and Joseph, had to leave Israel and go into Egypt. Because Satan was after Christ. Satan was operating through King Herod and men at the time to go after Christ when he was born. They knew that the Messiah was there. They knew. Satan knew the Messiah was born, that he was there. Look at Satan. As soon as Jesus got his purpose and Jesus finished his 40-day fast, who showed up? Satan. Ready to tempt Jesus. Ready to get Jesus to disobey God the Father's plan. To try and get Jesus off course. To try and stir him away from trying to save humanity. For trying to save human beings from being saved. When this walk with God, when you're chosen by God, it's not always going to be easy because the enemy, he going to always attack you. He going to be always coming at you. He going to try to attack you with everything he got. He going to send people your way to try and torment you. He going to send people to try and mess with your mind, mess with your emotions, mess with you physically. You be a person to where, before you're chosen by God, you usually walk, let's say you like a girl, right? You just walk up to her and she'll just diss you for no reason. Saying, "Oh, look at you. Who are you? Who you think you are trying to approach me? You ain't nobody. You this, you that. Please get away from me." You know why? Because Satan, before you know you were chosen by God, Satan knew. And he was trying to use people to break you. He was trying to use people to get you stirred up. He was trying to use people to get you down. Because at the time you ain't got God, you'd be depressed. These type of things will hurt you. Because you don't know where to turn to. But Satan hates when you come into God. Because Satan knows that how people view you, you don't even matter no more. Because it's all about how God view you. It's about how the Most High see you. That's all that matters. And it's not about what people say about you. And that's why Satan don't want people coming and take care of heaven. That's why Satan don't want people giving their lives to Christ. Because Satan knows the moment you give your life to Christ, you're going to be determined. You're not going to care what people think about you no more. You're not going to be no more people pleaser. You're going to be a God pleaser. You're not going to be a person who cares what God thinks about you. And what God thinks about you, that's the most important aspect. And that's why Satan don't want people to be knowledgeable. Because when people are knowledgeable, you see, when you find real truth, you have no choice but to turn to God. Because they know real truth that the world going to teach you. They're going to teach you nonsense like human beings come from monkeys and all this type of nonsense. Listen, when you find real truth, it's going to always lead back to God. Because God is the answer to every problem. He's the answer to every truth. Ain't no way you can go looking for real information or something that's valid and not find God in it. God is everywhere. You can't neglect God. You can't take away God from society. You can't take away God. You just can't. And that's a lot of people nowadays, especially a lot of atheist people. A lot of people just don't like to take knowledge of, but God is in everything. God is in every book. He's in every truth. You can't take him out of everything. But nevertheless, guys, when you're chosen by God, just understand this walk with God comes with our persecution. But these are some signs that you're chosen by God. Because there's a lot of people out there in the world, they don't understand. They go down here, they don't fit in. They go with this group, they don't fit in. They go to this event, they don't fit in. They move to this place, this state, this country, they don't fit in. You know why? Because you probably chosen by God. Ever since you were a young child, you probably had a different mindset about you compared to your other peers. You probably were into knowledge and books, while your other peers were into video games and dating apps, all this stuff. Because you were chosen by God from the beginning, from the foundation of the planet. Before the universe was formed, God chose you. He handpicked you. He handpicked you to reach people. He handpicked you to change lives. He handpicked you to do great things on His planet. Not just be a sheep or follow everybody else to follow Him, but to help set a new form, to help set a new standard, to help lead people to Christ, to give people a new mindset. But nevertheless, guys, let this message be a great blessing unto you. And never forget who God created you to be. I don't care how much people try to down you and talk about you. Remember, you God's creation. God created you Himself. And don't nobody take that away from you. You God's chosen. You chose by Most High God yourself. And nobody can take that away from you. Because at the end of the day, God chose you Himself. He don't need nobody's approval for you. But nevertheless, guys, let this message be a great blessing unto you. Have a blessed day. Have a safe weekend. Take care.